Hi there, it's Ross, and I've had a special request to record some press-ups to really quickly run through the basics of using the command line. And I'm doing this in macOS on my MacBook Pro that I do most of my work from. And so I'm going to show you what is called the terminal and just do some very, very basic introduction to using the terminal. So we can run the terminal. I'm going to use Spotlight to do it by pressing Command Space, and I'm going to run terminal.app. And I'm going to press Command and plus just to make it a bit bigger so you can see what I'm typing here. And you won't actually see this. For one thing, I'm in dark mode, so it's all black, but also I'm running what is called a different shell called ZSH. You'll see there's a ZSH up here. And there are different shells which are different command line interfaces for the Unix system that sits underneath macOS. And so probably what you will see is a thing called bash. So when you start your terminal, you'll probably see something that just says bash and some numbers rather than my name and a load of other things here. So this is a custom special thing that I have set up in my command line, but you'll probably just see this. Now, the way the command line works is you type commands in and it gives you information back. So we can run through some of the really basic command line commands. And your command line, actually, it sits inside a directory. So you have a current directory that you are in. And when you first start the terminal, you are in what is called your home directory. And I can type pwd, which is short for print working directory. And you'll start to see that a lot of Unix commands or Linux commands are abbreviations of something, but it's very, very inconsistent in how these things are abbreviated. So pwd is print working directory, and you'll see that I am in /users/Ross Wintour. I can then show all the files in this directory by doing what's called a list or a listing. And to do that, I type ls and I press return, and that shows me all of the files that are in my current directory. You can pass what are called modifiers or options to commands. So if I type ls and then a space and then -l does a long listing. So that will show me all sorts of other stuff that's quite complicated. This on the left is the permissions on the file. So who can, or what sort of file it is, who can read and write and execute files. There's, I can't remember what this is, number of symlinks possibly. This is the user that owns it. This is the group that owns the file. There's the size information, the date information, and then the name of the file. So I can see a long listing. And then there are also files that I can't see. So any file in Unix that starts with a dot is not shown in the standard listing. But if I do ls-a, that's a boring list. Let's do ls-la. So I can pass multiple options to my command. And you'll see I get all these other files with dots actually showing up. So these are all hidden normally, and the Mac actually hides them from you in Finder as well. So I guess the question is, how do you find out? So I know I can do a listing, and I know I can print working directory. How do I find out what commands are and what options I can pass to commands? Well, they're two very different questions. I'll answer the second question here, and we can maybe look at the first question, what commands exist, another time. But we can use a system called man to find out what options you can pass to any given command. So I can do man ls, and man is you'll see at the top the BSD, which is the type of Unix we're running. General commands manual. So man is short for manual, and it displays manual pages. So if I type man and a command name, we see ls list directory contents. It tells you how you can enter that command, all the different flags that you can pass to it, and it describes it. And then I've got this little colon down here. This shows that I'm running inside a vim or vi or less like place, and I can do up and down to go up and down. I can press Q to get out, importantly. Generally :Q or Q gets you out of a screen like this, and I can scroll down, and so I can see what all these different options do. So I can see if I pass -a, that will include directory entries whose names begin with a dot. So that shows everything that is normally hidden. And these try to be abbreviations of something as well. So ls-a is showing you all files, and ls-l, you can press space to scroll through this page by page, by the way. And you can press B to go back. This is just stuff that you learn through doing Unix, but space or up and down arrow keys is a good way of getting through man pages. So minus L, the lowercase letter L, just for clarity, list in long format. And then if you see below, it will describe what the long format is actually showing you. So I can press Q to get out of here. And the other way that you can sometimes see information about commands, and sometimes, again, this is inconsistent, so it's not always the same for all commands, but you can sometimes put -- help. And if you do that, that gives you a short summary of what options you can pass into a command. So I don't think pwd will do that, because pwd is, oh no, it does, no, it's invalid option. But it does tell me what the usage can be. I can pass minus L and P to it. So I can then do man pwd, and that shows me what options I can pass to pwd and what it does. So there are lots of commands. You can do rm, which deletes files. Don't do that. You can do cat or less, probably more normally, if you want to see the contents of a file. So let's see if there's a file I can less for you here. I don't want to show you my history in particular. I can show you my RC file. So if I show you, don't worry about what this is, but less prints a file to the screen, and I can space through it, and I can go back up through it, and I can use up and down arrows to get through it, and then I press Q to quit. So when I do man something, so if I do man less, for example, to see how the less command works, then I can, this is running inside a less kind of program where I can press space to navigate through, Q to get out. So there we've learned a few things. pwd shows me what directory I'm in. ls shows me what files are in my directory. You can pass flags to commands like A and L and all sorts of other things. And if you know a command and want to know how it works, you can type man and the command name. And if you just want a summary of what options can be passed, then you can type -- help. Let's see what we get for man when we do that. The help, when you do -- help, sometimes you get very useful stuff, like this tells you what some of the options do, and other times you'll just get a list of here's all the flags that you can pass. That's completely unhelpful. So there we go. We'll explore some more commands next time.